Hey guys, Harris here, and this is my review of Pebble's latest offering, the Pebble Time. I've been a big fan and owner of both the original Pebble and the Pebble Steel, but what separates the Time from the previous two models? Well, for starters, it's the first Pebble with a color display, but it really isn't anything to get excited about. It's a 1.25-inch color e-paper display, pixelated, muted, and a very basic color palette. Is it better than the previous Pebble's display? Certainly, in my opinion. Even if it's still nothing to make your jaw or eyes drop, it's still a step in the right direction and an improvement. Another differentiator with the Pebble Time is the addition of a microphone, which is actually now an industry standard in smartwatches. Now granted, as far as I can tell, the microphone is only of any use for Android devices, which is disappointing, but more or less to be expected. The microphone works well and allows you to input text into the watch for quick replies. Without a doubt, it's a selling feature of the Time over previous Pebbles if you're on Android. The Pebble Time is also thinner, which I appreciate, coming in at 9.5mm, which makes it really one of the thinnest smartwatches on the market. It has a slight curve on the underside and a slight bubble over the display, but a trade-off of the shaved-off thickness would be a larger face, and the Pebble Time almost seems to have two bezels surrounding the screen. It's shorter and wider than both of the previous Pebble generations. Another big feature of the Time are the new, for lack of a better term, open source bands. The default silicone band removes in a matter of seconds and comes back on just as easily, and it closely resembles the process of many traditional analog watches. The big story would be the open sourceness, which heavily relies on third-party companies to make bands that can improve the experience of the Time. When this happens, the Time has a shot of being a game changer, but that has yet to happen. The Time also has a new charger, and it's a flat cable that attaches to the back of the watch, and yes, battery life is still excellent, usually coming in around 5 days for me. Also paralleling the previous Pebbles would be the single button on the left side and the 3 buttons on the right, and of course water resistance, although 40% less water resistance than the previous Pebbles. Now a big part of the new color display would be the new OS. With new animations and a new layout, it attempts to ditch the old utilitarian design in an attempt of creating a poppier, more abstract design, resembling the transition between iOS 6 and iOS 7. Pressing the center button still takes you to the app menu, but instead of a simple list of your apps, you get full screen cards. In my opinion, it's slower and less efficient, but gets the job done nonetheless. But this time, pressing the up and down buttons don't let you quickly change the watch face, which I personally really liked. Instead, pressing the up button takes you to view the past weather, past calendar events, past alarms, and the like. Press the down button and you can view anything in the future. Again, weather, sunrise, sunset, calendar, alarms, you get the drift. But as I said in my unboxing, I rarely use the calendar on my phone, so for me, this is just wasted space that takes away from the experience, but it could be a completely different story for you. You still get the same app experience, although with a little extra color and new animations, and the watch runs smoothly for the most part. If you're using this on an iPhone, the experience is still quite limited, unfortunately, and of course, this is because Apple wants you to buy an Apple Watch and not a Pebble. Essentially, you can use any apps that are on the marketplace and receive notifications, and that's it. If you're on Android, you get a better, fuller experience, and if you install Android Wear, you get an even richer one. You can reply to various notifications with your voice, with emojis, or with customizable quick replies. It works very well, especially for a device without a touchscreen or a speaker. So at the end of the day, the Pebble Time is a nice smartwatch with a comfortable design and outstanding battery life, but it's a hard product to recommend. See, if you're using an iPhone, it really can't do much. However, outside of Pebble, your only option is the Apple Watch. So if you're looking for something that does the basics and has great battery life, Pebble is your route. But I'd recommend the Pebble Steel or Pebble Time Steel over this Pebble Time. But if you're on Android, you get an awesome experience. However, there are many other Android Wear smartwatches with speakers, touchscreens, and much nicer designs for similar prices. So essentially the only winning feature of the Pebble Time for Android would be the battery life. So you can see how this can be a hard product to recommend. So those are my thoughts on the Pebble Time. If you enjoyed this review, a like would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next one.